Happy New Year. It's Bills by the Numbers, where we let the stats tell you where the Bills are at. We're presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with the playoffs on the horizon. What is Buffalo's most likely wild card matchup? Which AFC playoff opponents are the best and worst matchups for the Bills? And we'll have our one burning question. Time to saddle up! Happy 2026, Bills Mafia. Glad you're along for the ride here on Bills by the Numbers. Bills Hall of Famer Steve Tasker, Bills play-by-play man Chris Brown here with you. And the Bills' path to the playoffs will be a bit different this season, as it will not include a home game, at least here at the outset. Each of the previous 5 seasons, Buffalo began the playoffs with a home game by virtue of their division-winning seasons. The last time they played a road playoff game was in 2019, when a 16-7 lead at Houston evaporated in an overtime loss to the Texans, 22-19. Buffalo has not won a road playoff game since the 1992 AFC title game in Miami. We all know it's one game at a time, but Buffalo will need to win 3 road games in a row to advance to the Super Bowl. Assess for me, if you will, Mr. Tasker, the path this team has to take to get to the promised land.
It's a big ask. There's no question about it. Going on the road and beating 3 really good football teams, it's a really rare feat. It's hard to go into a really good football team's house and beat them. We know that from being here in Highmark. So to do it 3 times to get to the Super Bowl, that's a rough road. But
yeah,
you do match up well with you're not going to be afraid of any of the matchups now, barring any further injuries than they've already sustained throughout the course of the regular season. Barring any more of that, you're going to like your matchup with any of the teams left in the tournament. No question about it. You're going to feel good about it. Josh gives you an edge. Your running game gives you an edge. Your offensive line is good. Your defense has found ways in games here in the last month to be
very effective.
Very effective. Stifling almost. So if you get into on these road games, the one thing that you can't do, you cannot turn the ball over. Even Jacksonville, in their resurgence here of late, their defense is playing great. It's doing the number one defense.
They do a great job taking the ball away.
They got 30 takeaways over the last stretch. So if you don't turn it over, the Bills have good enough players and a good enough roster to beat any of these teams.
Your team in 92 had to go on the road. Now, it was
one game.
2. You won 2 road playoff games.
We?
Yeah, I believe you won 2 road playoff games that year because you
yeah.
lost the division.
That's right.
And you had to go to Pittsburgh and then Miami to advance to the Super Bowl. The playoff pool was smaller. You only had to win 2 road games. Now you got to win 3.
That team won the playoff game in Pittsburgh with backup quarterback Frank Reich.
Yeah.
It was 20-6. It can be done.
Yeah. It is possible. While at the time of this taping, the playoff seedings are not yet set, we do have the likelihood of where the Bills will end up, courtesy of Next Gen Stats. There is currently, prior to Week 18 play, a 38% chance that Buffalo will be the number 6 seed. To create that outcome, the Texans and Bills would win, and the Chargers would lose. L.A. is at Denver this weekend, and head coach Jim Harbaugh has already said they will not start quarterback Justin Herbert, as they are choosing rest over improving their seeding. That would likely send the Bills to Jacksonville, a team Buffalo has never beaten in the postseason. They are 0-2 lifetime, having lost in 1996, 30-27 in Jim Kelly's last game of his career, and in Sean McDermott's first season, 10-3 when the Bills broke the 17-year playoff drought. Jaguars are a hot team right now, winners of 7 straight. This would pit the number 1 rushing team the number 2 rushing team in the league. Let me correct that, because Baltimore has overtaken Buffalo. The number 2 rushing team in the league against the number 1 rush defense in football. Jacksonville also second in takeaways, as Steve mentioned this season, with 30 through 17 games. Your thoughts on that potential matchup?
I'm okay with any of them. going to Jacksonville, the weather will be good. It's a good track. They've got a great field. It's outdoors. It'll be sunny and warm. It'll be a refreshing trip for these guys to go down there, as crazy as that sounds. You get off the plane down in Florida, and you just soak it in, man. It feels good. It feels like, and too, because
Feels good for the body.
it feels great. Because I was laughing at, we used to practice outside in it. You know, they got the field house now, and it's very nice. It used to feel like you were playing almost with no uniform on. It was like you were nude. It was because you had to bundle up
After
to
practicing up here, and
you
then
practice
going
up
down
here.
there.
You've got everything piece of clothing in your locker you're wearing, and you go out and practice like that. Sweatpants, like you've seen Jordan Phillips.
Yeah, he wears his winter coat with a hood.
That's what you do. So think about doing that and then going down with nothing but a T-shirt on under your pads. Let's go. It feels great. It really feels like a lot of fun. And so that's Jacksonville. And, you know, you're always going to play a good team in the playoffs, no matter what it's about the matchup. And I like the Bills' chances against teams who don't play against this quarterback very often. I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we're going to absolutely go down there because they're playing really well right now, and their defense is their strong point, and that's the problem for them. It's a little bit like the Atlanta team, and it's a little bit like the Cleveland team. It's a little bit like those teams that have that defense. The Houston team, they hang their hat on their defense, and their offense to do it. Now their offense has played well, but you can't be. There's no matchup in this tournament any of these teams are ever going to be afraid of.
I do like the fact that the Jaguars have to play to win this week because they need to win in Week 18 to hold off Houston for the AFC South Division title by staying a game ahead of them. Jacksonville would lose a tiebreaker to the Texans if they finish with the same one-loss record, and Houston would take the AFC South. Now, look, they're playing the Titans, so the game might be decided by halftime, and they can pull their starters then. But I like that Jacksonville has to play to win that game, and as we've said, long winning streaks are hard to maintain, and the Jags have won 7 in a row. Defensively, they cannot get off the field on third down, and their pass rush, for whatever reason, has not been as good as it's been in years past. I think it's a winnable game for Buffalo, but Jacksonville, for some strange reason, has proven to be a difficult place for the Bills to score points. Everyone remembers that weird 9-6 game Buffalo lost in 2021 to the Urban Meyer coach Jaguars.
Oh my gosh.
They've got to rise above that and play solid three-phase football. The next most likely landing spot for the Bills is the 7 seed, according to Next Gen Stats, at 35%. Only the Chargers have a greater chance of finishing in the 7 hole at 51%. A 7 seed finish would likely send the Bills to New England for the wild card round. The Bills split with the Patriots, with both teams winning on the road in one-possession outcomes. New England 23-20 on a last-second field goal in Week 5. Buffalo 35-31 in a comeback from 21 points down to match their largest road comeback in team history in Week 15. New England has sustained a few more injuries of late. Mac Hollins joined Milton Williams, Kyrus Tonga, and Joshua Farmer, all defensive linemen, on injured reserve. They're hoping to get left tackle Will Campbell back. He did not play in the Week 15 meeting against Buffalo. What can be said about playing a division opponent a third time in a season?
Yeah, it's
You've
hard.
done it. Your teams did
it's
it with
hard.
Miami.
It's certainly, you feel better about it now that you split. Even if you would have beaten them twice, you'd be like,
Hard to beat a team 3 times.
It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Having split with them, both one-possession games. Remember the game in Week 15, was it?
Well, that was a comeback game, yeah.
Unbelievable comeback by the Bills, but and it's hard. It's hard to get up on top of a team in their own building. Yeah, I don't know what I would feel about that. Certainly the Patriots, I mean, they're as hated a rival as the Bills have in the current point in history, and it's true for a lot of teams around the league. But, man, I don't know. That they're playing an extremely high level offensively. Drake May is just as efficient as he can be. Just because it's the Patriots, I don't know. Like I said, I'm neither here nor there with any of these matchups.
Yeah.
I think I think I like Jacksonville better because it'll be in better weather, it'll be better conditions, and I think our guys will thrive in that where they have been battling it, and it'll feel like they have one less thing going against them in that game with the conditions. But I have no qualms about going to any of these teams.
The Patriots are 5th in scoring. The Bills are 6th. New England has the number 4 offense. The Bills have the number 5 offense. The Patriots' defense has slipped in recent weeks, due partly to the injuries, particularly to their defensive front, while Buffalo's defense seems to be peaking at the right time. I don't love playing the Patriots a third time, and I've got an awful lot of respect for Drake May.
Right.
But there might be some benefit to the familiarity. The last time the Bills played a division opponent on the road in the wild card round of the playoffs was 1999, when Buffalo played at Miami and lost to the Dolphins 24-17. Finally, the third most likely outcome for the Bills in the wild card seeding is the 5 seed. Tennessee and Indianapolis would both have to beat Jacksonville and Houston, with Denver beating the Chargers and Buffalo winning over the Jets. According to Next Gen Stats, 27% chance of that happening. In this case, they would face the AFC North winner, that being either Baltimore or Pittsburgh, who Sunday night in Pittsburgh won the first meeting in Baltimore in Week 14, 27-22. But the Steelers will be without DK Metcalf, tight end Darnell Washington in this game, and TJ Watt is a question mark after a punctured lung. So who would you rather face if this scenario unfolds, Baltimore or Pittsburgh?
I think Pittsburgh. Baltimore's playing really hot right now. Pittsburgh has always had that feeling the entire season of they're treading water, and they're doing it they're just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Now, certainly, Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to figure it out. That he's going to get the most out of whatever they have. Darnell Washington is a loss for that team.
And they're still trying to get Calvin Austin, their speed receiver, back from a hamstring injury. They're beat up.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is a little bit of a hot mess right now. They're still kind of hanging in there, no question about it. But they just took it on the chin from the Cleveland Browns. They seem to be fading at the stretch. If they find a way to beat Baltimore now, that everything changes. I mean, that's a different kind of team, you would think, if they beat Baltimore.
And there's the Lamar Jackson question too. Is he playing? And what shape is he in if he is? Because he didn't play the previous week against Green Bay.
Yeah.
A game that they rode Derrick Henry for over 200 yards. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
It comes down. I still think Baltimore, they're rallying around their backup quarterback, Huntley. They're going to play really hard, and they're going to be in Pittsburgh. So if they can go into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers like that, well, the Steelers, I just think Baltimore's. I think Baltimore's just a freight train. I don't think there's any way they lose this game this weekend.
I feel like both of these teams have kind of slogged their way through the season. Like, it's
very much
hard
so.
to know if Lamar Jackson's going to be fully healthy in that game or the rest of the way if they happen to win and qualify for the playoffs. But they've leaned back on their run game, and Baltimore has very quietly, as I said earlier, overtaken the Bills as the number 1 rushing team in football after Derrick Henry's 200-plus yard effort in Green Bay in Week 17. I don't feel like the Steelers have anyone on their roster like Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson at any position. And for that reason, I'd rather face the Steelers if this seeding scenario were to play out. Time to swing things over to the numbers game, where Steve will be quizzed on Bills playoff trivia. Let's do it. All right, Steve, question number 1. What are the most points ever scored by the Bills in a road playoff game?
30, whatever. I don't know. So I'm going to say whatever we scored in the championship game against the Dolphins in 92.
That was
94.
29-10, the final. You want to go with that?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
That is incorrect on a road playoff game in Bills history. I will give you a hint.
It's in the 60s or something?
Nope. It was actually a loss. Most points scored in a road playoff game.
I know. It was in Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns game, 1989.
That was 34-30, but it is incorrect.
I don't know. Who is it?
It's the 13-second game.
Oh, there you go.
42-36
Yeah.
in overtime.
There you
36 points at Kansas City in 2021. Question number 2. What 2 AFC teams have the Bills faced in the playoffs on the road most often?
AFC teams on the road most often.
There's 2 that are tied, and it's 3 times each they have faced these teams on the road in the postseason in the AFC.
Tennessee/Houston?
It is not Tennessee/Houston. Believe it or not, that's only twice if you add them together.
Miami?
Not Miami, which would have been my guess. I was surprised by this, which is why I thought it was a good question.
San Diego?
Not San Diego. Only twice.
Gotta be Indianapolis.
It is not Indianapolis.
See, because they used to be in our division, I thought maybe only.
Indianapolis didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Kansas City.
Kansas City is 1, thanks to the most recent team
What was
going
I
there
thinking?
every stinking year.
Kansas City and the Jets.
It's actually Pittsburgh.
Ah,
Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Question number 3. What is the highest team rushing yardage total for the Bills in a playoff game in their history? And I will give you a hint. You played in that game.
Kansas City Chiefs championship game, Thurman Thomas, buck
Nope,
86.
there's one that was more.
Miami Dolphins down there, the championship game.
You have the right team, you have the wrong game.
44-34 snow game.
Nope, it's not that game. It's December 30th, 1995 against Miami. Bills win 37-22. You want to guess give me the guess on the rushing yardage total, because it was fat.
Is it in the wild card round?
Yeah.
Down there? Or
Here. 1995.
I think Timmy Tyndale.
He had a big game.
Had a big game. Timmy Tyndale.
For Tim Tyndale's.
Let's go, the Canadian Comet. Love it.
He wasn't alone.
I gotta be between 225 and 250.
It's almost 100 yards more than that.
Really?
I was stunned by this. The Bills ran for 341 yards.
Let's go
against the Miami Dolphins on December 30th, 1995.
I wish we had Marino on this today.
Timmy Tyndale with 68 rushing yards. Derek Holmes with 87 rushing yards. And Thurman Thomas with 158. 341 rushing yards on the ground. Question number 4. In the Sean McDermott era, which AFC club have the Bills beaten the most in the postseason? Sean McDermott era only.
Okay, gosh, beating the most?
We're only talking about a 9-year stretch here.
Pittsburgh?
It is not Pittsburgh.
Who would they even play? Baltimore twice?
It is Baltimore, and the answer is twice.
Yeah.
I've beaten them twice in the playoffs.
Wow, there you go.
Divisional round for both games. Last year and in 2020, the COVID year. So that
2020,
is
the COVID year.
the numbers game.
That's
341 rushing yards. Holy moly.
Timmy
That's
Tyndale.
unbelievable.
Timmy snapped off a 50-plus yard touchdown run.
Yeah,
in that
finished
game
with
to finish.
68.
That's great.
Unbelievable
Yeah.
rushing total. My eyes popped out of my head when I saw that.
Yeah.
Bills fans, get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Just download the app to play any way you want. Plus, with live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Best of all, you get paid your winnings fast. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the Buffalo Bills. Time now for our one burning question. And we look ahead to the postseason and ask, who will have more rushing touchdowns in Buffalo's wild card playoff game? Josh Allen or James Cook?
I'll say Josh.
Okay.
Yeah, just because I think they'll get.
They'll get in close
They'll
and
get him close, and they'll put the ball in the hands of their best player and turn him loose. Now, there's a ton of stuff could go wrong, but I think that's a good question. It's a good question. I think how many times will they both have a rushing touchdown in a game would be a good question too. I think because they're going to hand it to James Cook in these playoffs,
and
this is that year.
And the other thing too is they've both been neck and neck all season long with multiple rushing touchdown games. I think Josh has 5 and Cook has 4, if I remember right from the last time I looked that up. It may have changed since the last time I checked, but they're both doing a job on the ground this season. Just for the sake of argument, I'll say James has more rushing touchdowns in Buffalo's wild card playoff game. Hopefully they both have a bunch. Hopefully James has 3 and Josh has 2. That would be nice. I'll take that. Because I think it would be an appropriate representation of what this season has been like on offense.
Josh has 14 rush, and James has 12 on the season.
They've been neck and neck all season long. Yeah. Our closing figure deals with James Cook's quest for the first rushing title in his career. He currently has a 47-yard lead on the Colts' Jonathan Taylor, and he's just 137 yards ahead of the Ravens' Derrick Henry, who is back in the race after going for over 200 at Green Bay in Week 17. If Cook finishes atop the league's rushers, he'll secure the first rushing title for the Bills since O.J. Simpson in 1976. That'll do it for this episode. Be sure to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use so you know when our next edition is out, or watch us on the Bills YouTube channel, because when you need to know about the Bills, you need to check Bills by the Numbers. For Steve Tasker, I'm Chris Brown. Thanks for listening. Happy New Year, everybody.